Before I could touch a single drawer, cupboard, or box, I knew I had to start here. And I've got a question for you. Do you have a space in your house to call your own? There's a reason why this is important. Stay on to learn why. And I've got a resource for you at the end as well. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jane, and this channel was inspired by my desire to create a more simplistic and meaningful next chapter as I'm moving into my 60s and beyond. It's time for me to live for me. Maybe that resonates with you too, if you've been living your life according to other people's plans and maybe you've been putting other people first. It's time to make a change. Last week, I shared a tool that I'm using that I'm calling my Simple Life Blueprint. And this is a guideline for me as I make these shifts towards a more meaningful life. And in that, I have 6 guideposts that are giving me the direction that I need, 6 different areas of my life. So last week, I promised I would talk about simple space this week. And simple space is basically this physical space that I live in. It's our home, it's our garden, it's the space around us. And it's really important for this space to feel good, to feel light, and feel like it doesn't weigh us down. So the question that I have about simple space is, what does your home and also the surroundings feel like now? What would it take for this to feel a little bit lighter? The honest realization for me is that I thought I was going to be talking about clearing out a box that I've been looking at for 10 years. I'm going to do that in another video. But I realized, and the truth is that I needed to start here, right here in my little sanctuary. Now, I've had this little sanctuary for a while, but it got a little messy, a little cluttered, and it wasn't feeling quite as peaceful. And I knew with any of the other projects I take on, I need to come from a peaceful place. So what is this little sanctuary? Really, it's a space in your home that is yours. You can close the door or at least not be disturbed. People know that when you're in this space, it's your time. It's a space that you feel good in, you feel comfortable in, and it's a space where you can contemplate, have clarity, perhaps do some reading or maybe some mindfulness practice. To me, it's imperative to have this space, and I come to this space every single morning, and it's how I start my day. Now, as I mentioned, it had gotten a little bit cluttered, so I've had to clear it out. What I'm left with is what I'm going to show you now. So in this simple little sanctuary, first of all, it's a chair, it's a comfortable chair, and I have a lovely cushion here with a cover that came from a friend. So this is a very comfortable spot. I also have a blanket here in case I get cold so that I can feel cozy again. And I've got this table next to me that has some things on, like a cup of tea, could be a glass of water. I've got a little picture here that was me and my grandmother when I was a little girl, and we're holding hands, so that makes me feel really good. I've got some other little trinkets and things that just spark memories for me of good times. And I've got a lamp here if I need to have a little bit more light. And basically, this is setting me up for this space. And what do I do in this space? First of all, a lot of times I'm journaling. So I've got this journal here. This happens to be a really nice one that was given to me as a gift. I'm almost at the end of it now. I've had many, many journals over the years. And I journal a lot for clarity. I find when I journal, when I get pen to paper, I can declutter my mind, really, and I can get clarity on things that I maybe are bothering me. I can write down and get a bit of a different perspective. So journaling is part of it. Sometimes I'll use journaling to create my mindset that I want for the day coming up. So I might use it to write affirmations or just expectations for the day, intentions for the day. So I always have a journal on hand. It's usually sitting right here. And for that journal, then of course I've got this little bowl that I keep on the second tier of my table here. And in that bowl, I have, first of all, a bunch of pens because I never want to be short of a pen when I'm in this space. Maybe I could have cut back on a few of the pens, but for now, I still have those pens. And I also have reading glasses if I need them. I'm trying to use reading glasses less and less, just letting my eyes kind of strengthen on their own. I could also be reading. Right now, I'm reading on my Kindle, so I have my Kindle here. If I'm reading a book, I'll also have my physical book here. I have a bookmark because you never know when you're going to need a bookmark, and I always want to have a bookmark for my book. And this one's really special to me because it was made by a friend of mine. Sometimes I may get inspiration. So I've got these post-it notes where I might write down ideas and inspiration from whatever I'm reading or perhaps something I'm listening to, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And I've got some other other little post-it notes in here, different sizes. If I want to mark a page in a book that I'm reading, or even in my journal, I might use this to note some pages. In fact, this journal has a little note there with something I wanted to come back to one day. Now, sometimes in this sanctuary, I'm listening to like guided meditations or podcasts. So I also have in my little bowl, I have this little bag here that has earbuds so that I can listen to a guided meditation or podcast or something like that. And then sometimes I actually want to be here and be totally quiet. If it's really bright, I have this eye mask so I can put it over my eyes so that it can get nice and dark. If it's a little bit noisy, I could also put in these earplugs so that it's quiet. So all of these things are in this little bowl, this little wooden bowl, which is actually special to me as well because it came from my parents' house. And I just have that right here on my shelf, which I know you can't see. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I also have some essential oils. This is by Vibrant Blue Oils. They're a favorite of mine. This is the parasympathetic blend, which is, well, parasympathetic. So it actually calms the nervous system. So I really love that one. And another thing I do here sometimes is I get inspiration and guidance. So, one way I do that is with oracle cards. So, I love this deck. I have a lot of different decks of oracle cards. This one is one I've been using a lot lately. It's the Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. So, I really love those, and I keep those also on my shelf here. And I have another journal. This one is just for the oracle cards. So I'll write down here the question that I asked and the cards that came up. And sometimes it's interesting to see the patterns over time. So that's what I've got there. Another thing I've got here is, and it's down on the bottom shelf there, is a dream journal. So I'll come here in the mornings often when I wake up and I'll try to record my dreams. And that's another way to see patterns and intuition and guidance. This space is important to me. And the thing about it is when you set up your day and your morning in a place like this, you're already creating calm. And in order to do these other things, especially I know with decluttering, you can't declutter from a stressed state. You don't make good decisions, it'll be too emotional. And so you have to do that from a calm space. And so we have to calm the nervous system. It's not going to be helpful for me to try to clear my space if I don't have my little sanctuary all set up for calm and start my day off there. So there you go. That is my little sanctuary. And I'm wondering, do you have a space like this in your house? And if you do, what do you have in that space? And if you don't, are you inspired to create a space like this that's yours? I hope so. This has really been a life-changing thing for me to have. And I think it's really important to have that space that gives you calmness and clarity to start your day. All right, I mentioned my Simple Life Blueprint. If you haven't got it already, you can download it for free if you like. If you go to my business website, which is thewellnessengineer.com/living simply. And I'll also put a QR code here up somewhere so that you can just scan that if you want to download it. Now, I've got the one with my 6 guideposts on it. And on the same page, if you scroll down, I also have one that's blank. So if you want to create your own guideposts, you can do that. So I hope this is helpful for you. And if you want to keep coming along on my journey, each week I'm going to be looking at another area on the guideposts, and I'll keep circling around, coming back around to it. So in the next video, I'm going to move along to my next guidepost, which is simple tending. Simple tending. Tune in to find out what that's about and how I'm beginning to take steps and make shifts in that direction. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.